I got a very special one for y'all today. If y'all like Ojamas, because if y'all watching me, I know y'all like it, and you like Darkworld, I got the best deck profile for you right now. So I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, through research that nobody has tried Ojama Darkworlds. Little do you know, the synergy is crazy. So let's go through it. I'm just gonna show you the dangers first. You got one Jackalope, one Sushinoko, one Bigfoot, one Chupacabra, one Mothman, and then you gotta add the 3 Danger Nessies. We got one apiece. We just want them all to be different so we don't hit too many dangers that are the same if we draw 2 or more. I only have 8 dangers. It's a 44 card deck. Alright? I know that could be a little funny. I know some of y'all could be real stingy. If it's not 40, it's not it. It's either 40 or 60, but 44 just seemed like the right ratio for me, and it seemed like it was just it worked out perfectly where I wasn't drawing. I wasn't even though this deck shouldn't brick much, I wasn't really bricking. It just felt like it flowed the best with this ratio. So, but I have 8 dangers, and now let's move into the Darkworld cards. We have one Ceruli. We have one silver. No, we have 2 silver. You don't need 3. 3 is overkill. You're gonna end up throwing the silvers back into your hand with Grapha anyway, and you're gonna keep getting used. Same with the Ceruli. I'm pretty sure I know a lot of Darkworld deck profiles now. At this point, you don't need a lot of Cerulis because you keep bouncing them back to your hand. If you want to play more, I most play 2, but I would only play 1. Because the whole hand loop combo can go off with just 1 anyway. Then you have Genta, probably the best Darkworld that just came out of that structure deck. It's a 1-card starter by itself. You gotta play it. You gotta play 3 of it. You're gonna play Brow. This deck, man, I'm not gonna lie, I could go through my whole deck in 1 turn. Anybody who's ever played Darkworlds, anybody who's ever played Ojamas, you know you can run through your deck really quickly, and I mean really quickly. So Brow just kind of helps you do that to see all the cards you want to see, and help make those bigger boards, especially when it gets started drawing a card. I mean, drawing a card in Yu-Gi-Oh is just too powerful. We have Snow. It's the Searcher. You'll see later on that some of the cards you want to search are just more valuable to just turboing out the deck, and then, like you said, creating those bigger boards. But you're gonna run 3 Snow. Then you're gonna run 2 Grapha. I know most people like to run 3. Grapha is a really important card, but we're gonna run 2, especially if one gets because the Bestials are really big right now. So if a Grapha gets hit with a Bestial, you're still good. You still have another Grapha. But I didn't want to overclock the deck if I felt like adding 3. Same to why I only have 1 of the Overking of the Darkworld for the same kind of reason. I felt like it was just gonna really over clump the deck for me, having the big Darkworlds in there like that. But yeah, still crazy cards, still adds cards, really adds silver most of the time. It's one of the crazier cards that come out of that structure deck. And now, which I was waiting for, we're gonna tell you the big Ojama cards. We're gonna run 3 Ojama Pink. Now, anybody who played Ojamas know Ojama Pink is basically Darkworld dealings. When it gets discarded, you could discard a card and then draw a card. No, you draw a card then discard a card. Obviously, if you've read the Darkworld cards, that's obviously broken because all of their effects get triggered by being discarded, right? So I'm super plussing off a lot of cards, and you'll see when I get to the spells that I'm double discarding and double drawing in 1 turn, and off of 2 cards. It get heat. Ojama Pink is big homie in this deck. I'm not gonna lie, nothing gets better than Ojama Pink. Right? Now, also, the other reason Ojama Pink is in this deck, you'll see we also play Ojama Black, Green, and Yellow. Say you pulled all the Ojama cards, which you'll see more of later in the deck profile, and you had to discard it, and you had to discard it some way somehow. You still have a way to get rid of it. Say you only have a discard card, an Ojama card, or a danger in the Ojama Pink, and you pull one of the normal Ojamas or something like that. you can discard one of the normal Ojamas and start locking your opponent's zones too. So now, not only are you hand looping them with the Darkworld cards, which are also locking zones, so now he also has less zones to play. It's overkill, but it's maximizing power. It's Ojama and his dark buddies. Like I said, we're also playing Ojama black, green, and yellow. And that's really it for the monsters. You'll see later why we play the Ojama black, green, and yellow, but those are the three big homies, and I think in any Ojama deck profile I ever make, they will always be in it no matter what. So let's go on to the spells. We have, I'll go down here. We got Darkworld Ascension. Basically, the fusion card for Darkworlds is going to get us into our big fusion monster that just came out of the structure deck. It got to go in it. I'm running 2. I want to see it. I really want to see it, but no matter what, you're going to find it because you have all infinite draw. You have the draw power is crazy, plus the searchers and snow. You're going to see it, but two is I want to see it as soon as I can, and I want to be able to do it more than once. So now, what's normally not in some of the pure Darkworld decks is a lot of people don't really run Darkworld dealing. This is what I was explaining when why I said pink is so valuable in the deck, but it also works hand in hand with Darkworld dealing because they're basically the same card. Now, when you're running this deck with Ojamas, you don't want to lock yourself into anything in terms of that would say like Darkworlds or Fiends, because you want the Ojama synergy to still go on, right? And I feel like Darkworld Dealings is the best card to go into a deck like this. Ojama, seeing Darkworld Dealings and Ojama Pink, you're just gonna start going off. You're already drawing 2 more cards. You're already discarding cards. Now counting what's in the rest of your hand, man, your opponent's gonna have a long day. He's not gonna know what to stop. It's just gonna get rough. I'm running 2 right now. But as you'll see as I go into the side deck options that you can also throw into the deck, running 3, I wouldn't even hate you for it. Running 3 makes sense. There's no once per turns, so having 3 don't matter. Nothing stopping you. So if you want to run 3, you can. But right now I'm just running 2. So we have Darkworld Archives. This also I'm saying it's an amazing card, but it involves Darkworld cards. So you're discarding Darkworld monsters, right? So say you have the Ojama Pinks, or you have Ojama Pink, or you'll see later how you're going to always have black, green, and yellow in your hand. They're gonna always get there. If you did not draw them on your first turn, you will always get them in your hand whenever you go. And I'll explain that later. But I didn't want to play too many cards that involved me having to only discard a Darkworld card, right? But when it works, it works. It's an amazing continuous spell for the trap. Darkworld Puppetry. I only run 1, right? But I think this is an amazing side deck option, because being able to target cards in anybody's graveyard and banish them is crazy, right? And even if it means I have to discard a Fiend, cool. I'll deal with that. Most likely you're gonna have a Fiend in your hand. You're running all the Darkworld monsters, right? Not all the Darkworld. We're running a lot of Darkworld monsters, and Chupacabra is a Fiend, which I also put in the side deck to tell you that you could put more in there, counting on whether you're going first or second, right? So Puppetry, I really like that card. I think in the meta right now it works out perfectly, especially with Tier Elements. I really like this card. You gotta run the Darkworld Dealings. That's basically for the Gentas. That's that 1 card starter. Card Destruction. Can't play with that card destruction. Take it off if you want, leave it, but that card is powerful. You just got to be careful. Card destruction is a double-edged sword. It can stupid plus you, but it can also stupid plus your opponent. So you got to be careful. That it's a double-edged sword. So really pay attention to what you're playing with. And then if you shotgun this first turn, first game of the match, you gotta just be ready for whatever comes after you do that. Then this is why I was saying Ojama Magic. We're running 3. Anybody who's seen my video before, you know what Ojama Magic does, but I'm saying it again. If this card is sent from the hand of field to the graveyard, right? Not even just discarded, sent from hand or field. So if it's set and it gets sent, however it gets sent to the graveyard, you can add each Ojama green, black, and yellow to your hand. Now, if you have a Darkworld dealings and Ultra Magic, how many you plussing? You're plussing 3 regardless. No, you're plussing 4 now. No, you're not even plus 3. You're plussing. No. Am I stupid, chat? I might be stupid, chat. You're plussing 3 regardless. You get to add 3 Ojamas to your hand and an extra draw. I don't see how that's not crazy. You basically turn the 44 into 41. No, into 40 because of the Ultra Magic and then these 3, right? That was used right down to 40. So yeah, it's deck thinning at its finest, and I think people don't utilize the Ojama engine enough. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is almost like cheating. Like if I was able to, if you wanted to cut this down to 40 and use that to see all the cards you really want to see, you just basically took 5 cards out your deck. Now you're seeing all the cards you want faster. I don't see how that's an issue ever. So the Ojama cards put in the Ultra Magic puts in work for that. Now this is a flex card for me that I think a lot of you either are gonna love or hate. Ojama Duo. So the reason I put Ojama Duo in is because with all the discarding, I feel like being so, how do I say this, chat? So being able to play on your opponent's turn is important, right? In any scenario. So say your board gets wiped out, cooked on. Ojama Duo can save you in a lot of situations where you would take a lot of damage and now you're not. And especially when negates, it can draw out negates for you. It can do a lot of things, especially if it gets discarded to the graveyard. Not only about it getting discarded, but say you set up a beastie board. If you have 2 Ojama Duos in your hand, and pink is gonna go off in a turn, so you already locked. If you already didn't lock one zone, pink is gonna always go off, chat. So if you use a pink and then see 2 duos, which you're running through your whole deck, you're probably gonna see 2 duos. If you didn't already hand loop him, now you're gonna lock off all his zones by summoning 4 tokens. Like, come on, chat. I know it sounds like overkill, but it's gonna go crazy. So that's it for the main deck. Like I said, there's a lot of flex. It's a lot in and out. You can play with some of the ratios, but I feel like this is the best way to kind of play it and the best way it's worked for me. So yeah, I think for an Ojama Danger Darkworld, man, that's a mouthful, chat. Ojama Danger Darkworld. I don't think the ratios or it could get better than that. So let's go on to the extra deck. We have 2 of the fusion. Grapha Dragon Overlord of the Darkworld just came out in the structure deck. Great card for Darkworld. Great card for us. I was a little concerned at first. I mean, it's too strong of a card to not put in, so it was going in the deck regardless. But I was a little concerned at first because it does revolve the Dark Monster. We do have some lights now in the Ojamas, so I wanted to make sure I still would have it. But I think regardless, chat, the bulk of the deck is still darks, so it shouldn't be a problem no matter what. But you still gotta have your concerns here or there. But it's too strong of a card to not put in. In most Ojama decks, I'm always gonna put in Link Spider into an extra deck because it really helps unbrick you. There's nothing that hurts more than when you want that the Ultra Magic and the Dark One of the pink to go off, and you pull 2 out of the 3 Ojamas, or you pull one of the Ojamas. Most annoying thing ever, right? But a lot of this deck doesn't have a normal summon except for Genta. So if you have to, say you pull 2 out of the 3 Ojamas, you can normal summon one, special summon the other, and turn that into what you're going to see next, a Nightmare Phoenix or an IP or something. It just gives you something. It doesn't leave you just stranded there, right, chat? And say you're going second, you can discard something. You can do more now. So I always say Link Spider got to go in. Another card, actually, how do you spell Salomon Great, chat? I can't spell, chat, but it doesn't matter. If you want, you can also put Armorage in there because you can normal summon, link it away, and stuff like that. And when the cards get, so for example, if you normal summon pink and then send away pink, now you can activate this effect and start discarding cards. So Armorage is another great link one that you could put in there. But the only reason it's not in there right now is just a matter of just space. It's just space. Space is tough in this deck. because there's a lot of great cards you can play. But like I said, Nightmare Phoenix is here. You discarded cards and destroying stuff on your opponent's field. Great for going second for sure, or just link climbing in general. IP playing on your opponent's turn is too good. The Cosmic Magician, y'all all know about the hand loops. Y'all know about the hand loop and bringing back the Ceruleans to do it again with Silva and all the other fun stuff, toxic stuff that you're gonna do with Darkworlds. Security Dragon, same thing for bouncing back to Cerule or any other cards. Nightmare Unicorn, I know Nightmare Unicorn was cut. If you do want to play the Armorage, the only card that you probably could cut that I say wouldn't be super necessary, even though I do feel like it's more, Unicorn is more beneficial to the deck. You could cut Unicorn for Armorage, and it would give you a similar amount of usefulness. But that's really up to you. I like to promote a lot of creativity in deck building, especially for the people watching. I'm always gonna want to play Ojamas, and I want to play Ojamas as competitively as possible, right? So I always promote you coming up with new innovative ways to play. I think this deck couldn't have gone without it. Saryuja, you got to run two of them. This deck just pumps out monsters, man. Anybody who's seen Darkworld play or Ojama's play, it just pumps out monsters constantly. So you got to get ways to get monsters off field, and now you get to play with your hand and just see cards. It's crazy when you, especially if it goes the way it's supposed to go, and you have 7 cards in hand, and then you still draw another 4, and it's tough, chat. It's tough. It gets disgusting, and you still get to special summon on top of it. It gets disgusting, chat. But Saryuja's amazing in this deck, absolutely amazing. Appaloosa, you're gonna make this every game. No matter what, you're gonna make this every game somehow, some way. Too easy to make, too good to make, does too much. You're gonna make Appaloosa every turn. Like whether you broke his board and went second and made it, or you went first and made it, you're making it. You're gonna make it on your first turn you make. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, same thing. IP and all the monsters you have on the field, you can go into Underworld Goddess extremely fast, extremely easily. If any deck can play it, this deck can play it. And I think any deck that can play Underworld Goddess, you gotta play it. It's too strong of a card, especially like non-targeting removal on your opponent's side of the field for linking it away. Like it's too beastie. This card has gotten a lot of popularity lately because of Darkworld. And because you can rank 8, and it's fake a broken card, chat. Detaching materials and drawing cards, and it's still inflicting damage to your opponent. It's tough. And getting the 3 level 8s is not hard, chat. Like, so you'll see later on, we got the Graphas as level 8. If you want to play 3, it makes it even easier. You got Bigfoot, right? So you can get there, chat. It's not unreasonable. Like it's not a crazy thing. And you'll see in the side deck later that we have more level 8s that you could just throw in there. Especially if you know you're going second. It just solidifies a lot of stuff if that goes off. Same thing with number 60 Dugaris. The draw 2, detaching 2 to draw 2. That's crazy. And it's draw 2, discard a card, and skipping my draw phase. I don't even need my draw phase. I'm gonna have 5-6 cards in my hand when I end my turn anyway. I don't care about my draw phase. Draw phase, who? I do not care, bro. So that's just the stupid plus me. And then lastly, if it would show you, there it goes. Abyss Dweller goes stupid. It's just too good in the meta right now, especially going against tier elements and keeping people out the graveyard. It is what it is. It speaks for itself. Now the deck is done, let's go on to the side deck. These are just my side deck is not a side deck that you should pick. My side deck is just options that you can throw in and out, right? And you can play with. Because like I said, I like to promote a lot of customization with y'all decks, and I think people got to be more innovative with stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead of just following whatever is trending in a sense. But we got more Danger Bigfoots. I only play 1, but I think if you're going second, you definitely could add two more to the side deck. Ogopogo, just another level 8. If you want, if you wanted to put this in, I would actually have it in instead of maybe one of the, I don't know. You could just add it in and make 45 and play 9 dangers, or you could add it in instead of maybe like a Mothman, like something like that, if you wanted to. Just if you wanted more 8s, and because you want to get the coaching to go off even sooner. Thunderbird, I think I like it for going second. If you're playing maybe a more back rowy deck, which is not really what you would see right now, but if you are, it's a lot. It's good. It's good natural removal for the deck. That if your opponent has negates or anything, like they gotta use it, but it doesn't hurt you in the slightest. So Ojama Blue, another going second kind of card I was thinking about, because this deck doesn't have a crazy amount of normal summons except for the Genta, right? And even Genta's not even the craziest normal summon, right? But there's not really a normal summon here. So if you want to throw up a board and then normal summon a blue, and then pop that hole and then add 2 more cards to your hand, it's an option. Now, a card that a lot of people don't talk about, but I didn't think about it in this deck. I did just add it into the side deck just to bring some attention to it. Do I think you should really add it? Probably not, but I think it could have some application. So if you've never seen Darkworld Grimoire, it says during your end phase, if you discarded a monster to the graveyard because you had more cards than your hand size limit, you could target one of those monsters and special summon that target. Look, you have a lot of cards in hand once you end your turn. Like, you're gonna have a decent amount of cards in hand, and it's not unlikely that you might have to discard a card just off a straight hand size. So I think, count on how it plays. If you see like you're drawing cards, or your opponent had maybe a floodgate up, but you're still going through your deck really fast, I think it might not be a bad option for you. But should you really add it? Probably not. But I wanted to bring some attention to the card because, like I said, you wanna be able to customize your deck how you please, right? I'm really in love with this card, Darkworld Lightning. I know it's super simple. Target one set card in the field, destroy that target, then discard a card. It's basically like a Mystical Space Typhoon, but plus a discard. So it just pluses your deck and also adds removal. And targeting is the cost. It doesn't really play any effect to you. Waste negates, like it's nothing wrong with that as a side deck option. I think it should go in your side deck, no matter what. Darkworld Puppetry, like I said before, I really do like puppetry, but you have to. Puppetry is very specific on what you're playing, and how do I say? Because of all the bestials and everything like that, maybe it's not gonna look good, especially if you see it in your first hand, and it's gonna not be useful. So I think it's very up to how the game is going. And I think it might be a good going second tool for you in banishing cards into the graveyard or something. But it just doesn't feel good in your first opening hand. But I think it's definitely worth being in a side deck. Extra Mothman, just another good danger. But Guska is definitely a card that you can flex in the extra deck too. But like I said, the extra deck is tight, man. Extra deck is tight. It's not a really open extra deck. So if you can fit it and you're okay with taking something out, do your thing. Access code, like I said, space is just tight. But if you could fit it, access code is always worth it. You want to end game a lot quicker than you wanted to, a lot quicker than your opponent wanted to, access code is the way. So he's the truth. Then now you got Lightning Storm, just another going second card, and then there's other going second cards that you could just kind of put in there. I think any Ojama version, Ojamas like to be first. They do. They can't help it. But anything pure Ojama likes to go first. But this deck is really versatile, especially the Dark World cards. And I think any deck could use some Ojama friends. So it works, chat. So like I said, there's a lot of customization in a deck like this. But I think this is probably the best way to play it if you wanted to play it. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you got any other suggestions or any other maybe ratios that you liked or any cards that should come in or out. I'm always open to any opinions. Go give me a follow, go give me a like and subscribe, go give me a follow on my Twitch. It's Ojama Man X on Twitch too. And thank you, y'all. Appreciate it. I'm gonna catch y'all.